My name is Francis Fukuyama. I'm a senior fellow at Stanford and director of the Center on Democracy Development and the Rule of Law, and a political scientist. So the United States, I think, is going through something that is happening in other rich industrialized democracies. We've gone through this long period of deindustrialization where a lot of working class jobs, especially in manufacturing, have moved to Asia and to other parts of the developing world. A lot of the incomes in those places have fallen. We've also moved into this highly globalized, very mobile world where people can move across international borders, ideas, images, TV and the like. And that's very disorienting to people. It's not just disorienting. I mean, in the United States, because we tend to have a smaller welfare state than in Europe, people were largely left on their own after job loss and social disruption, and I think that's led to some very acute social problems in those working class communities that suffered from this. I think the 2008 crisis, it didn't cause, but it exacerbated a lot of these pre-existing trends because who held subprime mortgages? It's basically low-income, working-class people that were first-time homeowners. They're the ones that suffered the most immediate job loss, and therefore they were the ones whose lives were the most disrupted. Wall Street recovered, within 2-3 years of that crash, but the rest of the population didn't, and so I think that has, contributed to the overall sense of anger in this country. By the way, when we talk about these economic facts, there's also a big social dimension to it, which people don't talk about. Just as in the African American community back in the 1970s and 80s, where kind of job loss led to increases in single-parent families, drug use, rising levels of crime, that's been happening in white working-class communities all over the United States. So there are, some differences. It's a methamphetamine or opioid, epidemic there instead of crack cocaine and these sorts of things. But it's, there's a social breakdown that goes way beyond just these bland statistics about, employment rates and the like. Actually, I am more surprised that it took this long for this phenomenon to emerge than the fact that it emerged, because we had a really big financial crisis back in 2008 in which certain elite policies really hurt ordinary Americans, and it would make sense that there should be populism. And so I think we're just now seeing a delayed reaction.